Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is Rift Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Hello, everybody. This is your sensitive, offensive content disclaimer from the Rift Nation Network. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects. Triggering content, including discussions related to mental health, trauma, and other sensitive issues. Explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts do use some strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please contact a qualified expert. Welcome, everybody, to Becon in the Dark with your hosts, Susan and
Marci.
Marci's on top today. So tonight, whether you're tuning in at the start of the show or if you are listening to it on replay, there's a lot of information because today's topic, what we're talking about, is spiritual alignment. Now, a lot of individuals don't really know what spiritual alignment is. Now, a spiritual alignment is a union of your physical self, body, and your spiritual self joining together to create your life path. That's what we're talking about this evening. So there's a lot of things to do to help you to accomplish that. But a lot of us nowadays, this happens to us all the time. Our spiritual self and our physical self get disconnected. That happens a lot. I mean, it's happened to me. Has it happened to you?
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
whether it's confrontation, whether it's emotional, whether it's triggering.
Yep.
And the whole thing is to regroup, step back, not take things personally, observe, and say, okay, I'm going to stand outside. I'm going to watch whatever this is and not get emotionally involved.
Yeah, that's always the hard part sometimes. I think the
It
hard
is.
part for a lot of individuals is not having that emotional connection or learning to walk away from the negative in order to maintain that positive, because we especially light workers like us, okay, we're light workers, like I consider us, we help a lot of individuals and a lot of people, and sometimes it's kind of difficult to separate your emotions and not absorb what's going on with, say, a client or an individual or helping. It's hard for us to keep that emotional aspect separate, because you feel deeply, as light workers, we do feel deeply, so keeping that separation is, it's hard. At least it's hard for me. What about you?
Well, I've learned that as I've gone along, the higher we go, the less we pick up other people. We get offended,
Yeah,
and
I don't think
so
it's getting the offended. For me, it's like the empathic thing.
well, they attach their energies
Yeah,
to us, and we need to like blow it off
right.
and not take it personally, or to not react, or to stand still.
Yeah.
And so once we do that, or we pull in our energy to protect ourselves, so there's different ways we have to do these different things that are going on.
Yeah, it
And
does. It creates, it definitely creates a bit of an incident. Now, and again, the biggest thing is that it takes courage to actually move forward from where you are now, because in order for any individual to ascend, we have to have that connection between our physical self and our spiritual self. We need that connection in order for us to actually ascend. And a lot of individuals out there, they do want to ascend. They want to get that opening. They want to open their third eye, and they've been feeling a lot, but that disconnect creates that.
that was interesting, Susan.
Oh, come on. I can't be serious all the time. You know
Well,
that.
that's why I'm laughing, with you, not at you. And if
Oh,
you
no,
prefer,
laugh at me. I like that. Come on. You can
well,
laugh
yeah,
at me.
we're both laughing with you and at you, and as we learn to laugh at whatever it means, that we work through it. It
Exactly.
it's like we're like, we're not taking it personally. It's like, oh, that's your world. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. As far as
Exactly. Like,
what goes on.
sometimes there's like, especially in a building this large, there are 31 units on every floor. 31? More than that. No, there's 30 something units, 31 units on every floor, and there's 12 floors. 12 floors with 30 units. No smoking in the building, no problem. I don't like smoke in my house, so you go outside. So there's always a lot of different energies around, and they fluctuate from down here to medium to top. They fluctuate all over the place. So as an empath, if I feel tension, I'll purposely act goofy. I mean, I'll walk out and I'll do one of these, or I'll sit there and do the, yeah, let's go. And I'll just do something totally out of the ordinary that people don't know what to expect of me. And then it gets them laughing. And my thing is with me, and I don't know if you're the same way, I don't care if they're laughing at me or laughing with me. It doesn't matter as long as they're laughing. That's the way I think about it in that type of thing. Now you live in a building complex as well, right?
I live in a building complex. I don't think it's as big as yours. We only have an upstairs. We only have next doors, and we have like an outside. So it's almost like a little mini house.
Ah,
But I remember, like, when I was in therapy, when I was in my 30s, my therapist said I had two different types of laughters.
okay.
And one was to fit in with everybody, even laughing at myself.
Right.
or laughing to fit in with whatever they were putting me down. And then my sense of humor as to what my real sense of humor is. And it's kind of
Exactly.
interesting as to, are we laughing to fit in, or are we laughing to be authentic? And what I was telling Susan is, we have kind of a cross, and our personality, I think, is vertical, and our authentic self is horizontal. And
Right.
so when I do healing work, I will see black crosses completely leaving where I'm out of alignment, and
Right.
then I'll get those energies back in. And I was telling her that I've got this angel magic book that my guides
Marcy has
reminded
a
me.
lot of good books. She flashes all the time. So definitely write down what they are. They've helped me a lot.
I
Just to
know,
let you know.
and it's because I forgot about this one,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it appeared. I'm like, oh, I guess my guides wanted me to do it because it talks about angel meditation. It's called Angels. It's by Silver Ravenwolf and Companions in Magic.
She
And
sounds familiar as an author. I
yeah,
wonder if I've read something of hers before.
well, it talks about
Hi,
divination.
Michelle.
So when I was in meditation, because my diabetes has gone down, because I blew up whatever those blockages were, and I could actually
Right.
hear those sounds going on. So I'm always using this page. Susan says it comes in backwards, but this is like all the different things that are going on with air, earth, fire,
Fire, water. Yep.
spiral, serpentine, circle, point, ray, equal armed, triangle, square, hexagram, and I do a lot of automatic drawings, and I'm always doing the
Right.
sacred geometries of it. So I got a vision of a circle and an equal armed cross, and the circle is a balance between two opposites. The universe and creation of the world is what we're talking about.
Exactly.
The energies of that. And then the equal inside of that equal arm cross, balance, interlocking between divinity and human, or angel and human, as well as the four angels, four elements, four compass points all join in the center of the divinity.
Exactly. But see, you get the visions. Why? Because you're spiritually aligned.
Right.
Your physical body and your spiritual body are aligned, they're connected. So,
Right.
what we want to do is get people connected.
Right. And that's like
And
sound.
that's why she can get the visions. She gets the help. She works a lot more off of sound. I don't work off of sound.
No, it's okay.
And that's why Marcy's really, really connected to things like that. So, and that's why I figured Beacon in the dark when I first pulled her on. If I have the other side, she covers this side. Think of it together. We're spiritually a whole person.
The balance.
Exactly. It's the yin and yang. So that's what we need to do. So there's a list that I made here. And we can go through the list or we can continue talking. And if you guys have any questions, literally, please feel free. Okay. So, and again, we were talking just a couple of minutes ago about people laughing with you or laughing at us. Now, if we're laughing and say we're laughing just to fit in, that means we're what? Accepted. Okay. But sooner or later, when we grow as individuals, that laughter just becomes general laughter. It doesn't matter as we grow whether
Right.
they're laughing at us or with us. To me, it's just they're laughing. That's all that matters.
Right.
So, and it takes their mind off of whatever was going on. And that's the way that I look at it. So if I come out there like a goofball, awesome, here we go.
I'd rather be a fool, and
Yeah, I really would, because it's a lot more fun. People
it
never know
is.
what to expect out of you.
Well, a lot of people are brought up they have to be the adult, or they were
Yeah.
trained to be the adult, and so it's hard to reconnect back into it. And Brene Brown, I love her because all of her books have helped me a lot, and she talks about, she's got all kinds. You'll love her, and she talks about fitting in versus acceptance. We do things to be accepted. But we go into places that we're more fitting in, that are going on. So we don't have to try so hard. We resonate that energy, because sometimes trying to fit in with like the fake laughter or whatever it is, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
And
it
we
does.
get that energy bounce back off, like, well, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
Type of thing. And so once you just like, I don't care, I'm having fun, I'm inner child, and then that gets contagious.
That's exactly it. Now, be honest, guys. Be honest. Everybody be honest, you too. How many of you guys can actually go through a toy store and if you see a button that says try me, I push that button. How many other people have to push that button? And I don't care how old you are, you still got to push that button. You push that button, don't you?
I've got a witch for Halloween that you push the button.
Yes.
And it's like you play it on Halloween.
I'll go through the store and my man has collection. He has a certain collection of certain things. So every now and then we'll go in the figure collection to see if they have certain collectibles, right? Like first edition. Sometimes they accidentally put them there. And I'm in like the Star Wars section because I love those movies, right? So those little the not the R2D2, but the 3 CPO and the other ones. And when you move the head, they make noises. I have to sit there and touch them all. It's like, and then I got parents like you're talking about looking at me like, yeah, you're not helping me teach my kid to keep their hands off things because life's too short. So it's like accepting who you are, love who you are. And a part of that is some of the things you've talked about in the past is we have to connect that inner child that just wants to have fun. Let that little person out to have some fun, because maybe some of us didn't get that. That's a part of the connection, connecting who we are in our physical self with our spiritual self. We have to connect every aspect of ourselves. I said self a lot.
Well, and the inner child, that's where they're more intuitive. They're impulsive. Once we think about stuff, let's go play, let's go do this. And then all of a sudden these ideas come, or these drawings come, or these energies come, or the laughter comes, or whatever it is that goes on.
Exactly.
But it's like we have to relearn it because we were brought up to be an adult.
Yes.
So it's like I joke around with when I used to gamble. Well, I still gamble, but I'm in a whole different mind frame where my inner child was at war with my adult.
Yes.
My inner child's like, I want to play. And the other part is like, no, I have to save the money, and then I'll just be playing and my inner child will win until I'm done doing whatever's going on.
Yeah. It's maintaining that balance.
Right.
It really is. So I'm sure a lot of people that do work at retail stores walk out of there with a headache during the holiday seasons for everybody pushing every button, child or adult, going, oh my God. Literally, that's what happens. Then that's part of it. Because why? Because literally, there's like 44 things you could do to actually help yourself connect. And we could talk about each one if you guys want. And I'm sure everybody's got a story about it. Daydreaming, believe it or not. Daydreamers are actually more often easier for us to connect. Daydreaming about positive things, not doom and gloom, but like I have daydreams all the time. I've created some of my best baking recipes daydreaming. Hey, that would work. Those two would taste together. But that's me. I'm a baker. I like to bake. So there's a lot of things when we daydream. What if, you're sitting there and you're daydreaming of yourself playing, right? And all of a sudden you see the bling, 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 and you hear the blah, 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 of the machine.
Oh,
so
I got
what do you
that
get that urge to do? Exactly. So you go in and it happens. So the daydream is bringing in that positivity and creating that energy.
Well, it's like bringing our future self into our present self.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, well, we're going to do timelines. We're going to do portals. We're going to astral project. because our past, our present, our future are all simultaneously. As we clear out our past, we're clearing out our present and our future, and then again back to the alignment as to
Exactly.
getting everything back in balance of what's happening.
Exactly. Exactly. So we only got one person on here, so it must be a big Friday, but that's okay. They listen in later. Okay, now, and again, this brings us into number 2. This is feelings of optimism, optimism, right? Optimism about the way the world is right now and what it could be. Now it's like that feeling optimistic. Thank you. That's the word, optimistic about it, rather than feeling, oh my God, this work. That's the negative and the positive again. And that's the way that I look at it. Feeling optimistic about the way, like what Marci just went through. Okay. A good example. When Marci was first diagnosed with diabetes, it was really high. But see, she didn't falter about it. She didn't fall back about it. She worked with it. She felt optimistic about it, and she's literally got a very balanced sugar today, right now, which is
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
121 and
Yeah.
I'm almost feeling back to normal. And if you look at every day being a new normal, as
Mhm.
to, okay, well, we're waking up today. That was a bad day. We're going to stay neutral. This is my new normal. I had to take it, work with it,
Yeah.
and did whatever I had to do. I couldn't poke my finger. I finally figured out to pull the thing out and just poke it myself. You know, those little things that's like it was on 5 and nothing was happening. And I'm like,
Yeah.
screw that. I'm like, I'm just going to open up the package and now I'm doing it. And my blood sugar is doing good. And you just look at every minute as a new normal
And
because
you're
every
losing weight too.
what?
Not even by dieting, just by eating healthy. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
lost 6 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't lose 6 pounds when you thought a couple weeks ago, but I've
Yeah.
lost 6 pounds now.
Oh,
But
wow.
you know, and again, it's all that energy or all that emotional weight or whatever it is going on. I'm back to burping again, so Susan must be releasing stuff again, or somebody else. But it's always we're either going forward or we're either ascending or descending, and
Right.
you have to always look at like, okay, I'm going to keep on climbing the mountain. I'm not going to descend, and just keep on going forward.
And
And
Marcy is able to do this because she herself has that spiritual alignment. She has that connection. Now, if she didn't have that spiritual connection, that line, it would have been harder for her to do what it is that she needed to
I
do to
probably
help
would
with
have
the
had more
diabetes.
diseases.
Thank
Every
you for
time that
sharing, Renee.
whatever they say.
Yeah. She said, cheered you out. I said,
Right.
thank you. And yes, you would have had a lot more problems, don't you think?
Well, and that's what the diseases are. 75% is emotional and mental. And I've healed
Exactly.
my teeth and I've healed, like I was telling Susan, when I was blowing up those energies in my, because the pancreas is right next to the heart. So we were
Yeah.
doing the heart, the throat. And I literally was, that's why I was talking about hearing things. And I literally was hearing the cells dying.
Right.
It's like this little high pitched sound that was going on.
That's
Because our
because
cells,
you're a good sound healer. That's why.
well, no, I'm not even doing sound. I'm just visualizing and hearing them. I'm not
Yeah.
even doing the tones on what's going on. But if we just look at our energies, our cells, bad and good, are alive. Everything is alive.
Yeah.
And so if you look at blowing them up or destroying them, or that's not my belief system, or whatever it is that's going on,
Yeah.
then that allows that more energy of healing to coming in and allowing more balance as you were talking about.
Exactly. Now, see, and again, I'm going to say it one more time, only because a lot of individuals, when you first develop anything, whether it's diabetes or certain arthritis or things like that, some individuals will falter or feel down. But because, like I said, because of the spiritual alignment, connecting your physical self with your spiritual self, like you guys can't see, the arm is connected. So because she's connected, it was not easier, but her mindset was in the right frame of mind to handle what it is she was going through. And that's why spiritual alignment is extremely
We're not
important.
even supposed to get sick. It's time for me to do a tone. I can feel them behind
I just
me.
heard a bell.
That's my phone.
Okay.
Notification, message, I don't know. All right. Because as the stuff surfaces, and part of the ascension we were talking about, when you get chills, or when your hair rises, or when your truth resonates a certain vibration,
Yes.
your body will like, aha, that resonates with me.
Yes.
And we've got to listen to that clicking or that resonate, like, okay, then let's go on the next step, or let's heal, let's step back, let's pamper ourselves, whatever our steps that we need to do that are going on. Anyway, I'm going to do a tone because I can feel they're coming through.
Stevie
Because maybe
Wonder.
the stuff surfaces on everybody that they need to release whatever it is
Exactly.
that's triggered.
I feel like I want to burp, but it's not coming out yet.
All right, I'll hit another one. We'll get it out there.
Come on, burp. See, for me, when you do the high and the low, that's what connects me.
That's that spirit.
Yeah.
It's like the cosmos.
So
is
it's
the
like,
high.
yeah, it's like for me, the low, it feels more physical, and the high feels more spiritual.
Right,
So
and
when
that's
you're
what they
doing
are.
them both, it's got that, okay, this rubber band's connected.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, it's like a lot of times I will feel like chills up my spine. And actually, the Kundalini is our physical body is the third dimension, and the Kundalini is our fifth dimension.
Right.
So every time I will feel like little charges up my body, which is opening up that Kundalini energy that's going on.
Yes. Definitely. Yes.
And or we shake it all off, like that chills or whatever it is that's going on.
You go,
So, and then the chills mean something's accurate. Like somebody will say something, I got the chills. And then your body is like, okay, then that's the truth,
Do you remember when we were kids and we would lay there on the grass, most of us on the grass or whatever, and stare at the clouds, make pictures in the clouds? How many of you guys did that? Or stargaze and make up your own constellations? Okay, that is connecting your physical and spiritual self. That's another way to do it. It's the connection, your physical body being on the earth and you staring there using your imagination up. That's another one I have. Yeah, Danielle Long has done it. That is like an urge. That's an awesome thing because it's also on something else. You need to be outside. Don't like be housebound too much. That's another way that helps connect
well,
as well.
it's earthing, it's grounding.
Yes.
There's a really good exercise that I read a long time ago, and it was all channeled. And it's like you visualize yourself going up into the stairway into this great big pyramid, and in the pyramid you visualize a crystal like right above you, and you're on this crystal table, and then there's a crystal beneath you, and then you ask your guides to help you unblock whatever it is going on. I remember doing that one, and that one was so powerful.
I want to be on the crystals.
What?
I want to go all around those crystals. The table, the headboard, everything, crystals.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. They have the one above, the one below, as you're lying on the table spiritually or astrally. And I remember doing that one, and that one was so powerful because you'll get like your guides will come in
Yep.
because you're in a different realm, or they're there to help you, as far as what's going on. So
I know. Another thing you guys could do, see, I would love to be on that crystal table. I swear to God, you guys, if I ever, like, say, if I ever became a millionaire, I would have to stay away from China. There's a reason. I'd end up in Crystal City. My man would kill me. He'd know where I was, but he'd kill me. And I would find one of those big amethyst things, with the top and bottom connected. And I would just crawl right up on it and lay down and take a cute little nap. He'd be like, yeah, you still do that. I love doing that. I do it now. I had the entire, literally, everybody was outside. I'm staring at this guy, and they keep looking up, and they'll look at me, and they look up, and I'm not saying anything for it, I just keep looking. And then they're looking, and I'm saying, oh my God, look. And everybody starts looking. What's that? I said, look, that's a turtle. Ooh, Godzilla's over there. And then I got everybody else up there start looking at the pictures up above. So it's pretty cool. Now, here's another one. Adventures. Okay? A need to go on more adventures. You're seeking more and new exciting things. Now, everybody's adventure can be different. I took adventure today, and I hit the jackpot. So that was pretty cool because I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to go. There's probably something wrong. It's going to smell funny. So I ended up going to the store to find this yarn. It was really cheap because I do crochet, and it was very, very cheap. It was like $1 a scan or 50 cents a scan, and it didn't smell wrong. There was nothing wrong with it. It was like birthday cake yarn for $1 versus $9.99. I was like, to me, that's an adventure. But that's my type of adventure. So what kind of adventure do you go on? Oh, we've got Renee's a sad. She loves adventures. What about you? What's your idea of an adventure?
You know what? It's funny. It's like when I used to go to church, there was the Oakland Museum that was right around the corner.
Right.
And I'd get bored at church. And so I'd ask my mom to see if I could go. And it was almost like I was guided. And they had this big, huge, in retrospect, when I was like 11, 12, this big, huge painting of angels. And I would sit there, and it's almost like my guides had me leave my body. It takes us 5 minutes to leave our body to go into either the guides come to us or we go to our guides. And so that daydreaming, we're leaving and we're going somewhere else.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I'm daydreaming. No, you're astral projecting.
Yeah.
And it only takes 5 minutes. And that's why I'm like in and out of my body. I'm floating in and out because it's like, okay, where am I going? And if you just go with it, it's like, okay, let's see what we're doing and jot it down. Or what are they telling us? What do we see, feel, hear? Like I have to have my recliner chair. And I remember like Howie and Marci in her chair,
I don't know. I always have been passionate to I've always had a recliner, but once my man came into the house, I'm sorry, every man needs a recliner.
I know.
So, I mean, he's got one at his house, but at my house, he's got one too. Sorry.
Right.
It's just the way it is. But yeah, spending more time with animals and in nature. For me, that would be camping. If I went camping, as long as I got a blow-up mattress, because I'm too old to sleep on the ground now, blow-up mattress in the tent, I would be happy and content wandering through the woods, picking up sticks, looking at animals. And just to me, that would be, and we still do that. We just go nature hiking here and there sometimes. It's an awesome thing to do, to have that connection. That's another way, because you're connecting every part of yourself. These are simple ways to help you connect, guys. That's another way. Let's see. One that people do have issues with, including me, feeling gratitude for items that are often considered average, such as heat, vegetables, or running water. And I know that sounds strange, but you got to remember, there's some people that have a tent city around here. They don't have running water. That is something we need to be grateful for. It really is. Getting fresh vegetables. If it wasn't for those places you go, what the heck is the name of those places? Farmers markets. That's it. If it wasn't for the farmers markets, we wouldn't have that. When summer hits, I hit the beach. Oh, she's got a beach next to her. Yeah, I've got a couple down here too. So, but it's pretty cool. So, do you have farmers markets up there as well? Because that's another thing, that fresh vegetables have better nutrients for you than like the canned or the frozen. You have those? Yeah. Is Marci leaving her body?
No. I'm just thinking. In the last like month,
Yeah.
I'm appreciating walking more.
Yeah.
Because my breathing was hard. I was getting tired, and so now I'm like taking it like my diet more seriously.
Yeah.
We went out for my birthday. My birthday's next Friday, and I was having fun with
Happy early birthday!
Well, I get to spend it with you guys next week anyway. So, I'll be grateful for that because I'll either be at the casino, and I was having fun with my son because
Right.
he was having the 2 desserts, and I was telling the waitress because I had her today. It was
Yeah.
having so much joy watching him just enjoy the cake. I had a
Yeah.
couple bites, but the simple things of watching other people enjoy things,
Exactly.
or giving things so that they can enjoy things. I saw
Exactly.
my member out to lunch, and she goes, "You're so nice to me," and I'm like, I have a few philosophies. I share the wealth, and then I love the saying that's like, what you do with yourself, you take with you. What you do with the other people, you leave behind. And
Exactly.
so I try to, again, back to have that balance of giving and making sure I'm taken care of, because as those lessons I've had to learn to let go, as I've let go, and every time I've done that, things come back to me
Right.
because it affects them on their level. What those other people have chose to do with me, that's their choice. I've moved on. You've lost a good friend, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but that's their trip. And people have a hard time accepting love sometimes, or they get to a certain level.
Sometimes we run into people that are only there for a short time because
Right.
we
It could be
have a
5 minutes, 5
lesson.
years, a lifetime.
Yes, a lesson that we were meant to learn. So,
Right.
in order for us to learn that lesson, sometimes it creates havoc. But rather than focusing on the havoc, we focus on the lesson that we learned and we've grown from it. So, therefore, we didn't make a mistake. We faced the challenge and grew like
Well,
I did.
I've reconnected with people like Susan.
Yeah.
With other people, it's like I had to have another layer of closure. Sometimes the closure will be many layers, where we think that it's done on one thing, and then the universe will bring it in. It's like, oh, you think you're done? We're going to bring this, or you couldn't say this before. And so now the closure
Yeah.
is done because you made your choice. I let you back in. And then if you just let them go on their whole thing,
Exactly.
I'm moving forward. I've been winning, you know.
Exactly. Here's
And
a point. This is like more proof right here. This is research I've done. Now, what is the one thing I could tell you is very persistent about Marci? Is she always manages to have either a link or a book that she recommends to help you, right? Guess what? Let's see what we got here. 11. People suggesting to you books to read, tapes to listen to, or classes to go to. That means that these people, or Marci, are trying to help you connect and to get that connection that you need with your physical body and to have that alignment.
well,
See?
Elohim a long time ago told me, even in the child right I got when I was 20, read and read more,
Right.
and I'm always reading nonfiction as far as what's going on. And I remember like I was thinking about like aliens or whatever. I'm like, maybe this is too out there for it. And they told me it's like, you don't know the level of what you're affecting people. Just because they're not saying anything doesn't mean they're not listening. Or you're
Exactly.
planting a seed, and then you just say what you need to say and you just move on. It's not like, here, you need to read this. And people will borrow my books and then I won't get them back, you know.
Yeah. I have the first book you recommended to me, Hands of Light. Yeah. Now, see, I'm already a Reiki master teacher at this point, but there's always different information that you can retain from books. And when I go, see, I'll go to Savers, which is like the secondhand store around
Well, we
here.
have that too here.
And they have tons and tons of book there. I'm always in the self-help section or the body and mind section. That's
Right.
my two favorite ones to see what I can find. Yes, definitely. Let's see what else we got here. You often see you're being given more opportunities, which is more things are actually coming to you, like Marci and I reconnecting, getting back together on the show, getting to know each other's energy again, getting our flow back, getting our groove on.
Readjusting, you know.
Yes, exactly. And that's what it is. So now we're doing this, which is really awesome. Now, how many people you talk to inspire you? It could be a book that you read, it could be someone that you run into. Inspiration from individual people or authors from books. That is another way that helps us become more aligned.
It's funny. It's like, and this is, I guess, one of those instinct stories. I had a friend that I grew up with, and for my birthday, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, Lynn Andrews, medicine woman, was the catalyst for my spiritual journey.
Right.
And she wrote a whole bunch of books, you know, as far as what's going on. So for my birthday, she was in the Bay Area. So my friends and I went and saw her,
Ooh.
you know, and I gave her, and I bought her book,
Yeah.
you know, and the one that she had, and I go, you're my rock, you know, because she had the whole medicine woman. And when I was doing the au pair work, Beth, the mother, was like, you remind me of that. And that started the whole journey of what was going on.
Exactly.
My friend that I was friends with, who I've been on this journey with, we switched books, and I had a bad feeling not to send it to her because she was going to send it back.
Yeah.
And then again, it was like I sent it and then it was gone, but I had to let it go. But it was good to reconnect. And I saw James Van Prague a couple of times. You know, my other friends stole that book, but it's just, maybe I'm not supposed to read those things.
Maybe you've
I'm
learned what you needed to, so you passed it along. And that's what it is.
Right.
It's the same thing
And
with me with crystals. I will have a certain crystal that I've worked with. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then
do
all
that
of a
too.
sudden it's like, okay, I don't feel this is meant for me anymore. So I will cleanse it. And for some reason, I just get this urge and off it goes to someone else.
I had a big crystal, like huge, and I had a VW, and it disappeared, and then it reappeared. And then my son wanted my copper wand. That disappeared, but we refound it. And my guides will say, give this person the crystal, and they will stay in my brain until I do what I'm supposed to do.
It will.
You know, it's like we outgrow the energy of the crystals. It is to meant for whatever's going on. And then it's like, okay, I don't match that vibration anymore. So like the same thing I do with my tarot cards. I was doing the home health and the mentally challenged people, and there was Surette that was studying to be a doctor. And I just all of a sudden brought my cards, you know, out of nowhere, you know, and I did a tarot reading for him, like, here, take them. She goes, I didn't tell you I needed tarot cards. I said, no, you know. She goes, I wanted to go online and do it. And I'm like, here, take them, you know. I could always get another deck.
That's always from what I was taught. Suspicious connection. This comes up every time. Yeah. So what it is I was always taught the first deck you get usually has to be a gift. That's what I was taught. Yeah.
Well,
first deck that you receive is usually a gift. First deck I got was a gift. after that, I started purchasing and buying my own, but I don't really read tarot. I channel. So I'll gravitate more towards the oracle. And now lately, these are the ones I've been reading on Tuesday, which is my rune oracle, which is it's easier than throwing crystals all over your desk and trying to find which way they went. That's not always a good thing.
Well,
And food, guys, food.
um,
Another thing you'll notice as you start to become more and more aligned is you literally what you're consuming within your body, the nutrients, what nutrients are in food, what you can receive from the food or the beverages of water. That's another sign that you are aligned, or it can help you align because we're paying more attention to our physical body of what's going in it, including our spiritual body and how it makes us feel.
the whole thing, whether it's the tarot, whether
Yeah.
it's the oracle, whether it's throwing bones, Bashar calls it permission slips. And so when it's like you're giving yourself the permission slip, and it's like the tarot, and like all of a sudden they're like, I don't need, or they're like, stop
Yes.
using the cards, just go on
Yeah.
whatever is going on. And so if you give yourself permission slip to whatever you feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
you know, practice
Exactly.
it. You know, get that muscle going as to, oh, I'm getting this picture out of this card, and I'm getting a vision on whatever it
Yes.
is that's going on. And so our third eye, you could call it scrying also, where we look out of the
Yep.
corner of our eye, you know, the crystal ball, it's not looking directly in the ball. There's fire scrying, there's crystal scrying, there's all kinds of it where you'll get the mirror, and it's like the vision will be
The black
in the
bear and
mirror.
a candle.
Hey.
Yep, that's another one as well.
Also
Also seeing flashes.
Oh, there's my son Travis.
Also seeing flashes as well. That's another thing that actually helps. Yeah,
Those are
guides,
guides,
flashes.
you
You're
know.
seeing like either shadow figures or you're just like, okay, what was that? And you look and nothing's there. That's another aspect of what's coming. Now, again, you begin to hear noises, humming, ringing. Oh my God, ringing in my ear. I'm ready to scream on that one.
Downloading.
Yeah, nonstop ringing.
That's all the
Yep.
downloading.
You begin to have great ideas. You actually come up with them yourselves. Like I was talking earlier, I create the recipes. So, and yeah, and it's sometimes it's also easier for you to learn things. Now, all this has to do with it because once you have that alignment, when you want to learn something new, it becomes easier because you don't have that feeling of being judged or that self-confidence feeling that's happening that we used to have before we became more aligned.
Well, what made sense to me as far as my grades and my abuse and the whole thing like that, I read, which made so much sense to my school, is when people are angry, they don't learn. And so once, you know, and their brain is not functioning, or absorbing whatever it is that's going on. And so if you can get yourself out of that anger and in that still mode, or not multitasking, they have a thing that it's like when we multitask, our brain is not set up for that. We're not absorbing, doing everything 5 minutes. You got to do one every 10 minutes, one thing at a time. Our brains are, for women, are meant to go pick berries.
See, with me, I'm a great
not
multitasker. I can focus on so many different things at once. So,
but that's a higher dimension, and that's why kids get bored in school.
A lot of intelligent kids
it was all linear.
The smart kids will do nothing but cause
they were brought
trouble.
up multidimensional.
The smart kids cause trouble. Yeah, they do.
Get bored. I would fall asleep in school.
Now,
you know,
how many of you people out there, including you, Marci, have felt the urge to write a book? I think you have.
Oh, I've written 2. I've written 4.
I know.
And then again, that got stolen.
Because,
you know, and I had to let it go.
Because why? Because what you have been, because of her experiences, she healed from them, and then you feel the need to share.
Well, in the last book that I had, which is the Tones, Healing, Tarot, Ascension, theta, I this journey has been
Yes.
with everybody. And I've been friends with everybody for 40 years. So what I did is I brought everybody
Right.
in on the journey as to what I learned from them, what, their energies are, what their whole thing
Exactly.
is going on. And I'm still friends with most of them, and Susan and I are back in, and, Howie, and, and the whole thing on that. And the journey has been a support system with, you need to tell people who and what you are so they can
Exactly.
accept you. If you have to pretend it, then it's going to take too much energy to try to pretend.
Exactly.
And so this is who I am. This is what I'm about. If you like it, fine. If not, I'll
Exactly.
see you later. And then that will alleviate all the people that, make fun of you. Or I've had a lot of people that are friends that I've been on the
Yeah.
spiritual journey with, and they power play me. They get to a certain point and they're jealous, and it's like, okay, I don't have time for you anymore.
Exactly.
I'm going to do quality, not
Exactly.
quantity. And, that a whole acceptance, I got to do another tone. Acceptance energy, because somebody needs to release something. And maybe it's you, Susan.
You can
I'm
always
feeling
tell
something
when
like
she's
at the
doing a
back,
tone. If you watch her head, she gets what I like to call the Stevie Wonder look. She does this.
Oh, yeah, that's what I
Her
would
head
always call
starts
it. The
swapping, then I
energy.
know somebody's coming in.
Yeah, it's like the wave. And again, we're back to that
Yeah.
wave and that yin and yang energy that goes on. All right. Now, are you guys hearing that sound coming out of the speakers? I was on a radio show, and she's still on my Facebook. And she's got her talk show in England. And I go, and that's where she said sound Reiki. And I'm going, the sounds are coming out of the speakers. She goes, those are the emotions, that are going on. Breathe, Susan, you're holding energy in.
Oh, no, I'm
Breathe
not holding
deep.
it in. I'm relaxed. I'm enjoying.
Okay.
I think we're having an awesome
Okay.
conversation today. And
we're getting tons of people now. Dawn.
I can feel them absorbing and understanding, and I love that feeling. I love that.
I do too. And and that's why I've either talked to people with tarot, or I've gone way off into the cosmos. And it's like almost dialing in or adjusting to whatever the people are. When I did tarot readings in San Francisco, and my friend Dawn would call me her science project for 7 years. And she'd have a whole bunch of people. She'd go, Marci, go deeper, Marci. Because I was just right over the cards. She goes, and I go, I feel like I need a computer readout, as far as what, go deeper.
That happens. Okay. That happens. It really does. I had a Native American come up to me and said, what are you using those damn things for? Grab my cards and said, okay, read her. What? I didn't even know I was supposed to be reading there. I walked to the door and he goes, hey, your table's ready. I said, what do you mean my table's ready? Because you're reading. I'm reading? Okay. So I sat down. I was going to visit for this fair thing. And I just sat down and started reading. And he just looks at me and says, you don't need those. Grab the cards, read her. And that's how it started, by somebody else having more confidence in me than I did. And that's that's one of the things.
And that's why you need a support system to verify. I mean, we used to do groups with friends. It's like they would draw the same thing. It's like the more confirmation you get few people together, practice on each other, get that muscle going, because it's all a muscle. As to, oh, okay, I am aware. And like my friend Shauna was an excellent reader, and the whole thing on that, and she would start doing her automatic drawings because she was in a relaxed state. So I have her Kuan Yin drawing. We have my jaguar.
I
drawing,
do stick figures.
She's doing deers
with 2 dots.
Hey, as long as the stick figures are permission slips. I can't draw people.
I can't draw anything. My man can draw. He can draw, but I can't draw anything. So another thing is vivid dreams. Vivid dreams are one of the other things that help you. Now, this is something that you can't really control, but I have been dreaming a lot more. But I'm not dreaming, and this is a question. This is a Marci question here. I have been dreaming, but not of this reality. I've been dreaming in a different
Well,
reality, a
well, you go
different
to other
parallel
planets.
reality. But whew,
What?
and
You're
I'm
opening
younger.
because of the dimension, you know. Well, it's our spirit age, but it's a matter of our energy and our dimensions, and And I'm always going. I'm going to remember this, and then I don't remember that's
Yep.
going on. But the portals that are going on, or the dimensions, or our guides are coming in. My guides would come in and say, "Okay, turn off your
Yeah.
TV," because they do that a lot. At night time, they're like, "Turn it off," and I'll keep it on. Turn it off, and then they're like, "This portal comes in," and they're like, "You're going through the portal." And I look at my childhood, and I was guided down. I remember riding my bike and sitting in a bench, and there were like these trees, or I'd go across the street and I'd be climbing the trees, and there's I forgot Sidney Sheldon, I think that's his name. He would go off into other planets, and they go, "You're doing that," and I'd end up in places I didn't. It's like
Yeah.
I'm going home, like I was teleported
Yeah.
places, and they're like, you think that you're one way, but we were teaching you at a very
Yes.
early age. You know, so I wasn't brought up to do the academic. It was almost brought up to do the
Exactly.
spiritual. So everything was moved out of the way so I could do whatever I'm doing. And these people in my book, and the journeys, and all these people that are going on, that we're all like
Yeah.
helping each other.
And that's it. If you
And
guys, if you feel the need and you need to get your words out, whether it's through poetry or artistry or writing a book or starting a blog or get your words out this way in a vidcast. I mean, this is all a form of artistry, a form of writing. What it does is it writing, especially from personal experience, like some of Marci's books, right? It's actually all of her books. It's a journey. And by knowing when you are there, when you're reading, you're actually experiencing someone else's journey, and a part of you, right, a
acknowledging
part of
the
you will
parts of
have that
yourself.
aha, oh my god, I'm not alone. Wait, I felt that too.
Well,
I
if
felt
you
this
listen,
too. That's what you're getting when you do this.
well, and that's why
Yes.
we're doing all this, so you guys can acknowledge and not feel like you're
Yes.
going crazy. And that's where, like, I was told I was stupid. I don't think. I sucked my hair. I sucked my thumb, and that's where, like, that thyroid.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, internalizing all this stuff. I have, like, I think, like 20 blogs
Right.
on my LinkedIn on my journey. If you guys ever want to look up that, all my I haven't done
Right.
it in a long time, but it's all these different sections of my
Maybe we
stories,
should do a
my
show on that. Maybe we should do a show on stuff, because I've written poetry in my past. You've written blogs,
right.
where we were there
And I've got poems
emotionally
too.
compared to where we
Right.
are. We could do a show on that too. How many of you guys would be interested in something like that? Because that's like it's a form of writing, and it's helping you guys understand a little bit more that where you were from a second ago is not where you are now. It doesn't matter whether it's years, seconds, or days. We grow and we continue to grow and get aligned and get your creativity on, whether it's baking, writing, journaling. It doesn't matter what it is. You could have a 2-word poem and it would be great. If you need to express yourself that way. This is an awesome thing. Okay. Now, one more I want to talk about real quick, because I know it's 7:58 already. You're wondering more about what happens when you transcend out of the material world into the spiritual world. You start wondering what happens. Where am I going? Can I control this? Now, have you ever been able to control some of your dreams and your travels? Not your astral projection, but your actual dreams. When you're traveling in your dreams, are you able to jump into that alternate reality and become aware, or are you more of the watcher?
Well, it's funny because like I would talk to Sean about this, and I go, I'm going through a window. She goes, you're going through another dimension. And Bashar says the dimensions could be
Right.
very, very small, or they
Yeah.
could be miles long. And so as you're transitioning, but your body will only handle frequencies that are going on,
Right.
that are happening. And so, or we're jumping from one thing to another, or I'm flying unicorns, or they're telling me to get on a horse, or whatever. And then I'm going through all these
Right.
different portals, and our chakras are connected to the portal. So as we're opening up more and more, then the energy is opening up
Exactly.
more and more as far as our energy. And it's just, as long as we don't have fear with it. I got to hit another tone before we go, because this will clear out some stuff.
I love Marci's tones. Some dreams I've had seem really real. I could literally feel the objects and the feelings. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's lucid dreaming, and there's a book called Lucid Dreaming, and I've
See,
got one
Marci's
too.
got the book. Just ask, send a message over to ATU, and when Marci sends me the name of the book, I'll send it to you. See? Marci's pretty much got all the books on everything.
I've got my, well, besides the ones that people have stolen, you know, but I've got all my personal stuff right here, and then I've got my other ones over there.
So,
you know, but they're all in wine
want to leave
cases.
you guys with this thought. Whoever you are right now will never happen again, because from now forward, we grow. We can continue.
It's a new normal.
Every second of every
And a new
day
you.
is a new normal. It's a new thing. It's a new beginning.
You weren't the same person
Bingo.
5 minutes ago. As you
Bingo! Wow, this was an awesome show, guys. Very relaxing.
Yeah, look, we've got our audience grew.
I love this. This was a really awesome time. So share it out with your friends. You can always watch the replay. And as always, if you have any suggestions, anything that Marci and I can touch topics on, that would be great. Just send it over to the Rift Nation Network. You can go over to the Facebook page. You can send an email if you choose. Or you can get a hold of me if you know where I'm at. But I want to say, peace out, guys. I love you to pieces.
Peace
and
out,
thank you so much for tuning in. And as always,
I hope it helps everybody. It's like, once you acknowledge you're not going crazy, then you start feeling more normal.
Finally I'm starting to feel balanced. I feel good.
Right. And in tune and aware and quiet. They always say an angry water we can't learn from. The still waters we can't. Like boiling waters, we can't learn. So we need to get that stillness. All right, guys.
Peace.
Much love to everybody.